Excellent. Great. Right. Well, welcome everybody here to the Charging Rhinos presentation call. I have something very special to share with all of you this evening. And thank you to those on the call who are already business partners for joining again this evening. And for all of those of you who are new and have never seen this presentation before. So thank you for sparing your time this evening. It's much appreciated. Now, before I go into anything, let me just give you a very brief little background about me. Some of you here do know me and others of you don't. So just briefly, just to give you my background is actually in banking. So I worked in banking. Well, actually, prior to that, I actually have a law degree from UCL. I left UCL and decided not to embark in the legal profession. And instead, I went into banking. Not quite sure which was worse, but but I ended up in banking for 12 years. I started in front office in trading and bond origination. And then 2 years before the credit crisis in 2008, I actually moved into credit risk and into the compliance side of the bank, and I became a police officer of the bank. So I then I ran a team of analysts who would monitor all of the trading activity in the banks, and that's what I did at that time. And then 2008 credit crisis arrived, and I was in big demand at that time because compliance went through the roof. And then I went into contracting, and interestingly, I ended up working at Lloyds Bank after the 𝐏𝐵OS takeover. That was horrendous. I worked at RBS during the credit crisis, horrendous. And I then eventually ended up in Nomura, a Japanese bank, very different culturally. But I did my 12-year stint in banking. And I did very well. Yes, it was a great career in terms of financially, but it was a very challenging career, very toxic environment, as I'm sure you can imagine. And the biggest challenge I had was not aligning with what the banks were doing and actually seeing from the inside what really goes on in the banks and how the government and the financial institutions operate. So 8 years ago, I decided to quit that career. I was also a single mother at the time, so left there, two young children in tow, 6 and 4 years old at the time, my daughter and my son. And I started a business as a business coach and executive leadership coach to help small to medium-sized businesses and everyday people survive the crises of the financial institutions. And for the last 8 years, I've been helping MDs, CEOs of companies, startup businesses, one-man band businesses, everyday people actually build wealth and create successful businesses. And during the COVID pandemic, my business crashed, like many businesses. So my coaching business also crashed, like many other people's. And at that time, I was introduced to crypto. And it was something that I was always interested in learning about, but never had the time because I've been on the hamster wheel for so long, as many people are, trying to survive. But during COVID, I think a lot of people were afforded that time of reflection to just stop doing. And this was a time where I feel a lot of humanity, a lot of people stopped and thought, what's happened? How did life get me here? And where do I want to go going forward? So it was a real good opportune moment to actually spend time to get to learn about this industry, the crypto industry, something I'd always been interested in. So in 2020, my partner and I, Christian, we got involved in crypto. And as many others here, I'm sure, in this group who've also been involved in crypto before, we got involved in projects where we got burnt, we got scammed. And I always say you have to kiss a few ugly frogs before you find your prince. And that's not just in life and in relationships, that goes the same for business. And a year ago, Gail here, 𝐏𝐿, who is our sponsor, she introduced us to this incredible project and business. And at the time, Christian and I were done. And I said, Gail, I've had enough. I'm not doing it anymore. Done with crypto. This was 3 years down the line. But because it was Gail, because I love Gail and I trust her and she's an amazing woman, I said, but I'll look at it because it's Gail. And thank goodness I did look at this business, because what I have to share with you is the real deal. Out there, 99.9% of crypto projects are scams. But we have finally found the one that is real, because there are real projects that do what they say on the tin. And that's when Gail and I got involved in this project just over a year ago. Gail was involved before me, and we have never looked back. And this really has genuinely changed our lives. So much so that my partner and I, we have now embarked on a new venture where we are now living between UK and Dubai. And if it wasn't for this project, we wouldn't be able to do that. And we are so serious about this project, and the founder, who I'll tell you about, and our leader, that my partner Christian is living here and he's here at head office with the founder, CEO, every day of the week if he chooses to be, and all the top leaders in this business. So this is really, really exciting, everybody. So I'm going to move on now with the presentation. Enough about me. So if I just share my screen with you all, first and foremost. So the company we're talking about is Ultima. And before we move into what the project's about, I just want to very briefly share with you our disclaimer. So despite my background in banking and my legal background, despite Gail's background as an ex-financial advisor, we are not here to provide legal or financial advice. All I can do this evening is share with you what this project's all about, and then it's up to you to decide whether this is something that you would like to become a business partner with us and get involved or not. Okay, so let's move into what are the 3 top qualities I'm looking for when we look for a business partner to join this business. And I think many of us have learned a lot of lessons in other projects along the way around who you invite to projects like these. So these are my top 3. The first thing, the first quality I'm looking for, are people who are willing to learn. We don't look for people who want to get into a get-rich-quick scheme, because this isn't. This is about creating and building long-term wealth assets. But somebody who's willing to learn about this industry and go on this journey of personal and business growth. And this is so important because, as I always say as a coach, you must learn before you earn. The more you learn, the more you earn. Okay? So people who want to come in purely passively, that's okay. You can be totally passive, but you still need to take responsibility for your assets and your education and learning. Just excuse me for one moment, sorry. I just need to get a drink. Sorry, everybody, I just had a tickle in my throat there. Okay, the second quality we're looking for are people who are open-minded, have an open mindset, not a fixed mindset, and have an agile mind. And what I mean by that is you must be prepared to accept risk, because everything is risk. Any business is risk in the world today. In fact, just walking out your door these days, there is risk. And people who are willing to accept change. There will always be change. Long gone are the days where change occurs annually. You know, you put on the news and something might change next year. We might have an election and you know, something might change. Now things are changing daily. And every time you put on the TV or you watch the news, things are changing all around us. And this is partly to do with the evolution that we're moving into, the evolution of technology. And it doesn't matter how much we like or dislike technology, we need to keep up. So there will be changes within this business as we go, okay? And Alex will always change and pivot the business, which is really important, because businesses that are not changing, you know, in alignment with regulation and what else is going on out there, are businesses that are either stagnating or dying. And we will have seen many businesses that have failed since COVID and died because they didn't pivot in time. So Alex is very, very good at pivoting and changing as and when he needs. And finally, my favorite quality I'm always looking for are people who are looking to have fun in an incredible community of like-minded people. So we have incredible opportunities for everybody here to come join our conventions, our big conferences. 2 months ago, we had our conference in Dubai here at Atlantis The Palm, over 2,000 business partners. Next weekend on Saturday, there'll be probably up to 4,000 business partners in Berlin. I will be there, and many of my team who are on this call this evening will be there together. So there are great opportunities for us to come together, meet each other, and meet Alex. Alex is the main public speaker at the events. But the other thing is with Alex is we actually receive daily voice notes from him every single day. He also delivers his own webinars and presentations to the community, 7 a week. And he does them in different languages, translated as well. He's actually doing a webinar tomorrow. So anybody who'd like to get on those, I think it's Spanish and German though tomorrow, but he speaks in English and someone's translating. So there's lots of opportunity to learn and there's lots of opportunity to meet everybody and really have some fun with this project as well. So let's talk about what's happening in the world today and what we're about. So we're all about solving real world problems. And here are just a few. If I haven't exhausted the list. So obviously we're all aware that we are now suffering with a new crisis of hyperinflation because the banks, the governments have just been printing money like there's no tomorrow since the debt that's been created through COVID. And this is a cycle and a pattern that the governments and the financial institutions go through every sort of 7 to 10 years. So we're in hyperinflation and that's killing everybody. That's killing households, everyday people, businesses, because obviously, while there's hyperinflation, there aren't rises in pay. There are no pay rises for anybody. We just this week we know that here in the UK, the Bank of England has now increased the base rate to 4.5%. So this is affecting people with their mortgages. Rent has gone up. So all of this increase in the base rate is affecting GDPR. Rise in fuel prices, rise in food prices, GPD, this one, GDP, rise in gas and electricity. So these are the common things that people are facing challenges with today. Now, what about businesses? What are businesses challenged with today? There is now an increase in corporation tax to 25% over a certain threshold. And actually, if you own multiple businesses, directors are owning multiple businesses, what the government's going to do, or HMRC are going to do, they're going to say, well, if you own 3 companies, they will take the profits of all 3 companies combined. And if you go over that threshold, you will be hit with 25% corporation tax and not 19%. So again, this is how the government and the banks are really squeezing us. Rise in overheads for businesses, layoffs because we can't afford the resources, and a highly disengaged workforce because people are working, but they can't get the pay rises they need to survive. And obviously their costs have gone up. And for those of you who are at pensionable age, pensions and savings, what are they worth today? So you may have expected them to be worth something years ago, but now they're not worth the pennies that you thought you were going to receive at your pensionable age. So why is all that important? Because what we're in the business of is solving real world problems. And just looking at the history of money, the way money and the financial reset is going, there's going to be a huge transference of wealth. That is happening right before our eyes as we speak. And we are now moving into mass adoption of the digital currency era. We've seen how banknotes, we will become cashless. There's a lot going on at the moment where, in fact, in the UK alone, there were MPs who voted against going cashless this year, but it is coming and it will happen, probably I predict by 2025, because Rishi Sunak and all the other prime ministers and presidents around the world and the World Economic Forum are now working on bringing in our very own what's called CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. So what does that mean for everybody? So what we think is money today in our bank accounts and those numbers on the screen, because that's what they are, a number on a screen, that isn't money, tangible, fungible money. It is a number on a screen. That money will, at some point in the future, we will be forced into exchanging that into our very own CBDC, which I think Rishi Sunak is going to call Britcoin. And why is this not great? Because obviously they will sell it to us that this is convenient, this is great, but actually it's a bit more sinister than that, because we're talking about Big Brother here, and it's already started and happening in China. So we have social credit scoring in China. You have people being watched on the streets. They will be able to switch our money off as and when they choose. They'll be able to put us in lockdowns. And if you leave your town, you won't be able to spend your money elsewhere. There's a big hidden agenda behind all of it. In fact, the Federal Reserve has a white paper already about the US central bank digital currency that's coming, that stipulates that if you have savings, they could very well force you to use your savings within a given period of time. And if you don't use it, you lose it. Okay, these are just some examples. And that is actually written in a white paper from the Federal Reserve, all about the US CBDC that's coming. So what does that have to do with us? And what does that have to do with Ultima? Well, what's really important right now is that we have an opportunity still to actually create our own financial freedom and create our own decentralized assets, digital assets. And we do this through our Ultima coin, the Ultima token. So let me tell you now more about Ultima itself and the business. So let's start with the business itself. So our mission is to become the world's most widely used and #1 digital currency in the world, and the most widely used digital currency ecosystem in the crypto space, available to everyone worldwide. And I'll come on to about what the ecosystem is. But let me tell you now, all of the digital coins out there on the market at the moment, including Bitcoin and Ethereum and Ripple and all those coins you will have heard of, none of them have utility. They are all speculative coins. So over the last 15 years, many coins have come and gone. Many coins have been scam coins, but not a single one of them has real utility. And this is where we are in a very unique position in this business, because our founder, Alex Reinhardt, and our coin is going to be the first ever utility coin on the market. And we are pioneers, actually. We've been pioneers of this business over the last couple of years. We are now moving into the final phase of our project. We are now launching all of our utility, which we can use in our ecosystem and purchase in our ecosystem with our very own coin, the Ultima token. So we are now moving into mass adoption worldwide. So as you can see here, we've been around for 7 years. Alex incorporated the business 7 years ago, and he has never shut down this business. As you all know, many of these crypto businesses out there, they start up, and if they're lucky to survive 5 months to maybe 12 months. Some of them are pure scams. And what they do is they make mistakes. They don't know how to pivot. They don't know how to change. They don't have the resources. They don't have the knowledge or the experience. And then they shut down and everybody loses their money. And then what they do is they start up a new business, newly branded, rebranded, and you never know who the founder is behind the company. And lo and behold, you've now just entered the same blueprint business again, without realizing, unsuspectingly, that it's the same founders behind it with the same pattern and blueprint. And that's been going on especially over the last 3 years during COVID. I know of 5 projects that have disappeared from the market and shut down this month alone, that only started just before Christmas. So they're dead within 6 months. So I say to people, be very wary, be very careful what you get involved in. But I can assure you that from our experience, this business is not going anywhere. We are just getting started, and we've been around for 7 years. We have over 2.5 million business partners and users of the currency and our ecosystem already, which is incredible. That's brilliant news, because that means we already have demand and liquidity for our products. We have already proven the concept, proof of business, proof of our software technology, which is blockchain technology, and proof of the market. There is a huge market that wants our products and utility. So let's tell you a bit about Alex Reinhardt, our founder, our leader. Now, this is really important, because the reason I joined this business was because of this man, because leadership to me is everything. Your leader will help you create wealth. And if you don't have a good leader, you will not create wealth. Now, Alex, his story, he's actually Russian, born Russian, But at 15 years old, him and his family fled Russia to Germany with the shirts on their back. So he's a self-made man. He's a mathematical genius, economist, venture capitalist, and worldwide business coach. And as you can see here, he's been featured in just about every single crypto magazine article on the planet. Here he is on the front cover of CEO Middle East, and he is known to be one of the top 100 people to know in the Emirates, or to meet in the Emirates. So he is a billionaire. He's already made all his money. He does not need the money from this business. He has a vision, a very strong, powerful vision, which is to bring financial freedom to the world, and he wants to build this business of users to 100 million users worldwide. His vision actually is to make 1 million millionaires around the world, and he's already made millionaires in the last couple of years, actually. And what I love about Alex is that he's visible. So, like I mentioned earlier, he leaves us voice notes every day on our Telegram group. He's visible. He does 7 webinars a week. He lives, breathes, eats, and sleeps this business. I have met him numerous times. I've been on the stage with him. He trains his leaders. And Christian, now being here in Dubai, he will spend a lot of time at head office where Alex is present. So we have Alex's ear. And he's just an incredible man, and very, very genuine, very authentic. And he will not rest until he has achieved his mission. And he will never, ever quit. And even where there have been challenges in the business, because all businesses face challenges and obstacles, he always faces us. He never hides, and he'll always answer our questions. And then he helps move things within the business and take us to the next level. So he's absolutely incredible. So let me just show you. This is one of the magazines, Luxury International. These watches, by the way, are limited edition company watches, which he partnered with Frank Miller Watches. And the man's watch here is $35,000, $45,000 for the woman's watch. People can buy these watches and receive 100% cash back in our coin. I'll come on to that in a moment, because this is one of the main products we have to discuss with you this evening. But let me just quickly show you this article in the magazine itself. This is my magazine at home. Top 10 crypto geniuses to know in the crypto world. So we have Elon Musk, we have Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, Changpeng Zhao, who's the founder of Binance, the 𝐔𝐋𝐓𝐈𝐌𝐀 brothers, the founder of Coinbase, and lo and behold, here we have Alex Reinhardt, our very own leader. Now, I challenge anybody here to go to any other crypto project that has been introduced to you and go look to see if they're featured in any crypto magazine or any CEO magazine or entrepreneurs magazine around the world. And I guarantee you they won't be there. Being the top 10 is really something. So he's really up there in the echelons with the big boys in the crypto space. And just for a bit of fun, here's a little video of Alex actually picking up and buying the magazine with his face on the front. Excellent. Fantastic. I just love watching her face when she realizes who she's selling the magazine to. Okay, so let's talk about the project itself, and let's talk about the infrastructure and this ecosystem I've been talking about. So remember, over 2.5 million users already ready and waiting to use our ecosystem, which has been launched already, but we have more products coming in the next couple of weeks being launched at our Berlin convention next weekend. So before I move into that, just to show you, this is our Ultima token, and just give you a little information about the token. The token was launched a month ago. We've been actually minting and farming other coins over the last 2 years. This is our final coin. After this coin, Alex will not mint or launch another coin. This is it. This is the last coin. This coin was launched at $10,000 just a month ago for one coin. It's already risen to $11,000 just in the space of 4 weeks, because there is huge demand for this token. People are already buying the token, ready and waiting to use the ecosystem. Now, Alex has a strategy to actually pump the price with the community, to pump the price of the coin all the way up and above $100,000 over the next 50 months. And just to give you an idea, a year ago when Gail introduced me to this project, she arrived when there was the launch of our old coin, one of our coins. It started at 20 cents of a dollar and rose to over $100,000 within 4 months. It absolutely rocketed. It did come back down and correct itself because what happened was the community who were buying it then dumped the coin, okay? But the reason the coin actually rose to $100,000 was because of our pilot for the ecosystem. And people were purchasing cars and property in Dubai and in Germany using that token, which helped create the demand to rise the coin. Now, that was a pilot. And now we are launching the final program worldwide. So we've been beta testing this over the last year, and we are ready to take this coin to $100,000 again. However, this time, Alex wants the coin to grow at a steady growth, and he doesn't want it to rocket to the moon within months. So we're going to have steady growth in this coin. So let me tell you now about the ecosystem and what you can look forward to in terms of utilities. So we actually have our very own MasterCard, which is white labeled as the Ultima MasterCard. And this MasterCard is also linked to a private bank in London, which is FCA regulated, Navio Limited. And many of us here on this call already have the bank account. We have the MasterCard. I have a MasterCard, which I've used all over the world, Hungary, Dubai, Italy, in the UK. I can use this debit card through an ATM, and I can use it for spending as normal in the shops. Now, the beauty of this card, some great benefits to be had here. The bank, which is a private bank in London, not only can you hold fiat currency, which is our normal currency of dollars or pounds or euros or yen or Japanese yen as well, you can hold in that account. We can also hold cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, US dollar Tether, but also our very own Ultima token. And this is amazing because what this means is that we can buy and sell Ultima token within this bank account. And we can use our Ultima token, send it to the bank account and load our debit card and then go spend it as normal as we would any debit card that you have in your purse today. The other benefits are that, as some of us will know here, that there are still huge parts of the world where many people don't have access to bank accounts or cards, like in Africa, South America, Asia. And we have been distributing this card all over the world to those countries. We have the largest number of MasterCard distribution to those countries, more crypto card, more than Coinbase or Binance or crypto.com. So we are really getting this card out to the masses, which is really important because we're bringing financial independence to those people in those countries as well. And another benefit to the card and the bank account is we have very high limits. So if you're looking to make big purchase items like cars or property, these have big limits on this account because it's a private bank. I can also actually take out up to 1,500 euros a day from an ATM using this card. So this card has already been around for 2 years. It took Alex 4 years to get this partnership. So the due diligence and compliance that is involved with banks to be able to award this, MasterCard will not award MasterCard to just any company. So that also shows and demonstrates the credibility of Alex and his business, that this is legitimate. His business is legitimate. So that's the debit card. So people can simply buy the debit card for 110 euros and have the bank account. And the other benefit as well is, as you know, is becoming more and more difficult to get traditional funds into digital wallets, because obviously the banks don't want us to do that. But with this bank, you're sending funds from one traditional bank to a private bank, no questions asked. Depending on the bank you use, we know that there are some banks that still won't send money to this private bank, but most of the main banks will. Now, what I have to share with you this evening, which was part of the invitation, was what's really, really exciting, what's being launched in the first week of June, okay? And we're only days away from the launch of our voucher system. Now, again, we piloted this year. I already have a voucher. I've tested it. It works. It does everything it says on the tin. But now we are launching this worldwide. And what you can do is you can actually purchase vouchers with up to 20% discount. So for example, and I can't give you the detail as yet as to which partners we have, because every country will have different partnerships depending on, the supermarkets that they use, the supermarket brands in that country and so on. But here's just one example of what's happening in Germany. So in Germany, they have partnership with fuel stations, 𝐔𝐿𝐿. They have partnerships with voucher companies where you can use those cards in multiple retailers. They have a partnership with car dealerships, property estate agents, and so on. Okay. They even have partnership with Amazon in Germany as well. So for example, let's say I want to buy an iPhone, a refurbed iPhone from Amazon, and that's going to cost me £500. Well, would you not want to have 20% discount on that phone? I certainly would. So rather than paying £500 for that phone, I'd like to pay £400 for the phone. So what I could do in this scenario is purchase an Amazon voucher worth £500, but I'm only going to pay £400 for that voucher. And just like that, I have now received 20% discount on the purchase of that Amazon voucher. I then redeem the voucher in my Amazon account, and now I can go spend that £500 to buy that phone, but I've only paid £400 for it. Now, this is incredible because not only can you use these vouchers for goods and services in that way, you can also use what's called a top-up voucher, where you can purchase a cash voucher, which is then deposited in the private bank for you, your bank account with the private bank in London. So let's say, for example, and I'm going to use my whiteboard, and I'm going to give you an example of how this will work. So let me just stop sharing. I'm going to share my whiteboard to help explain how this would work. So let's say, for argument's sake, you have some savings, and your savings are sitting there right now in your bank account. They're not making any interest because the banks aren't paying you interest. In fact, your savings are actually devaluing and debasing because of inflation. So let's say, for argument's sake, let's say I have a mortgage. I'm going to use a mortgage just as an example, and my mortgage is £1,000 per month. But let's say in my savings account, I have £12,000 in my savings account. It's sat there, it's not doing anything. What I can do through this business, and this is absolutely ingenious, and this is what we've been doing over the last year and now sharing it worldwide. I could take that £12,000 and purchase a £12,000 top-up voucher. However, I'm going to receive 20% discount on that voucher. So instead of paying £12,000, I'm only going to pay, sorry, 12,000, that's just 1,200. I'm only going to pay £10,000 for that voucher up front. So I've paid £10,000. I've used £10,000 from my savings to buy a £12,000 voucher. Once I've purchased that voucher, the bank is going to give me 12 installments of this £12,000 voucher over 12 months. So they're going to give me £1,000 per month times 12 months. So now I can pay my mortgage every month, £1,000 per month. But remember, I only actually paid £10,000 for that voucher. Therefore, instead of my mortgage costing me £12,000 a year, it's cost me £10,000 a year. I've just made a 20% saving on my mortgage. Now, you can do this with anything, paying your bills, your fuel, your energy, your insurances, anything you like, because once this voucher is in the bank account, you can spend it as you please. You can load it on your debit card, you can spend it on your food shopping, or you can just make transactions to pay invoices or pay bills, okay? But there's one other thing I haven't shared with you, and this will blow your mind. Not only will you receive a 20% discount, Alex is also giving us up to 100% cash back in the Ultima token for all our purchases. And let me explain this one. Bear with me. Just want to stretch that out. Okay. So I've made my 20% discount already. That's done. And as a bonus, I'm going to call this the bonus, I can receive up to 100% cash back on my spending. So now I spent £10,000 on a £12,000 voucher. So if I've spent £10,000, he will now give me that back in Ultima token spread over 36 months. And if we do the calculation, that works out to, at today's price, at the price when you buy that Ultima token to buy this voucher, at today's price, that would be the equivalent of £277.77 per month. So not only have you made 20% discount in your year one, you're also making £277 thereabouts, because remember the price of the coin will move. As a minimum, or let's say conservatively, which is an additional £3,333.33 in year one. And that will happen for 3 years. Okay, now it gets even better than that. And I call it a bonus because the price of the coin today is at $11,000 and we have only just started. The demand for this coin is going to be so high. It's already high because we already have 2.5 million users in the ecosystem. And we are looking now to go for mass adoption and build this to 100 million users worldwide. So the demand for this coin will be so high that the coin price will rise. So if you've purchased a voucher in the first week of June at that price, the chances are you will make more than 100% cash back, because as the price of the coin goes up and you sell it, it may be worth more than 200. Let's say the price of the coin rises to $22,000, then that means you'll receive double the value when you sell that coin every month. Okay, this is incredible. And this is a first. There is no other crypto company or coin out there that is doing this yet. But mark my words, when they see, or they are seeing what we're doing, they will try to copy what we're doing, but they'll be too late because we're the first to market to do this. And everything in this business has to be about utility, because utility brings real, true value to the coin. So I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment and take you back to the presentation. Okay, now don't worry if this is going over your head right now and you don't understand it right now. That's absolutely fine, totally normal. You can watch back this presentation, but obviously if you're interested to get involved and actually have these discount vouchers, then what you would do is go back to the person who invited you to this call and have a one-to-one with them, and they'll be able to take you in more detail, okay, and take you through it again. So that's the vouchers. Now, this isn't the only utility product we have. This is the one that is being relaunched in the first week of June. So this is imminent. It's around the corner. But we also have a travel platform of our own also being launched in Q2 to Q3. And this travel platform I'm very excited about. This will rival booking.com and other platforms out there. We already have partnership with over 2.5 million hotels worldwide, flights and cars as well. And we can receive up to 90% discount, because what Alex is doing is he is giving us the benefit of the markup or the margin that those companies make. He is handing on to us the discounts. This is what he does. Now, obviously, with all these products, you have to buy the products with the Ultima token. And that, again, drives the demand for the coin, drives the liquidity. And the other amazing thing is that Alex will limit how many tokens are in supply. Okay, so quite the opposite to the Bank of England. The Bank of England will print as much pounds as it likes and put us into debt and create inflation. We have a deflationary coin. Because it is limited, there will only ever be around 300,000 Ultima tokens ever in supply. Bitcoin will only ever have 21 million Bitcoin in supply. What that does is it's all about supply and demand, because as the demand for the coin goes up and everybody wants the 90% discount holidays, everybody wants the vouchers with 20% discount, everybody will be coming to buy the coin. But if there are only 300,000 coins on the market that can be sold, that will increase the value of that coin. Okay, so this is how we increase that value. What other products do we have coming? We have many more, but I'll just share a couple of others. We are also bringing out our very own exchange like Binance, and that's coming out in Q2 to Q3. And the beauty of our own exchange is we have our own blockchain, more sophisticated than Ethereum blockchain, more sophisticated than the Tron blockchain. In fact, Alex's developers took a hard fork copy of the Tron blockchain and has created a more sophisticated and faster blockchain, which will be able to do a lot more than Bitcoin's Litecoin blockchain and the others that are out there. So much so that already Metaverse is doing a deal with our company to bring their 1 million+ members to our exchange and our blockchain to actually support their NFTs and the projects that they're doing. So we are in the business of doing other business with other crypto businesses who will want to use our blockchain. This is amazing, everybody, because this means that the more people come to our exchange and use our blockchain and want our services and products, again, the more our Ultima token will hold its value. And as you can see here, Ultima token, you will be able to trade and sell and buy in for other currencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, US dollar, Tether, and so on. We will also have our very own marketplace, like an Amazon, where you can buy and sell goods, products, and services, kind of a cross between eBay and Amazon. And this is another incredible product, which we will be launching at the end of this year in December. So Alex has 300 traders in his business who trade for him and for the company. And in December this year, he will be launching the copy trading platform, where we will be able to, at a click of a button, copy his traders' trades and make more money with our Ultima token. This is super, super exciting. So those are some of the utility products. There are others, but I'm not going to overwhelm you with other products. But these are the core products that I really like and I'm really looking forward to, that I wanted to share with you this evening. Now, one last thing, we do have a final option, alternative way, entry point into the business. And you may have heard me mentioning this word, minting coins or farming coins. Well, we've been farming other coins over the last 2 years. And now we are able to farm for the final time the very last coin, which is the Ultima token, our utility coin. But we only have until the end of this month. After May, we will never, ever be able to purchase the software technology licenses again. This is the last chance to have the software technology licenses to farm the coin. And I'm going to explain to you what farming is, okay? Very much like real farming, but we're just farming coins instead of cattle or seeds or seeds or whatever you might be planting. So the way it works is we have what's called an Ultima minter or farm, and you purchase the license, which gives you the privilege and the rights to actually farm the coin or mint it, or I use another word, print the coin. So the Bank of England prints money, we mint money, we mint the coin. We then load that farm. Imagine I've bought a piece of land, but I haven't sown any seeds or I haven't put any cattle on the land. So it's not going to generate or yield anything for me. No profits, nothing's going to be yielded there. So to make a yield, what I'm going to do, I'm going to load it with some Ultima token. And in my analogy of the farm, I'm going to use cows and bulls. So I buy a cow and I buy a bull and I put them in the farm on the land. And I've purchased them to put them in the land. Now, that cow and bull are going to get to work. They're going to reproduce some calves for me every single month for 24 months. And these are newly generated Ultima token coins, which you're farming for free. Now, this is what's called a smart contract. So the blockchain technology creates a smart contract that pays you your coins every single month for 24 months. And right now, the multiplier is 7 times, which is 700% of newly generated coins over the next 2 years. So for example, if I put $1,000 worth of Ultima token into this license, into my minter, that minter will generate $7,000 worth of Ultima token over the next 2 years based at the current price. However, if the price of the coin goes up, those coins may well be worth more than $7,000, because if the price of the coin doubles, then they'll be worth $14,000 over the next 2 years. If it goes to $100,000 in the next 5 years and you hold those coins, well, do the maths. That $1,000 of coin would have generated, oh dear, what's the price there now? 700%. You do the maths. I almost don't want to say it. Okay, so can you see the numbers here and how this works? Now, likewise, the price of the coin can also go down. But the difference here is that we are not buying the coin as a customer or trading it. We are the creator of the coin. We're generating that coin. So even if the price of the coin were to come down, because we bought the coin at the lowest value at the price where it is today, we would mitigate our losses. And this is how we mitigate the risk, because we're generating brand new coins. Okay. Again, don't worry if this is going over your head and you don't quite get this. We do actually have a calculator where we can show you the numbers, but to see that you would need to have a one-to-one with the person who invited you to the call. So go back to them if you'd like to see the calculator and the numbers. But in essence, I liken this almost to us being part of being a casino, okay? So if you're a member or a customer of the casino, you walk through the door, you go to the till, you hand over your pounds, and they give you chips in return. Now, who created or owns the chips? The casino, the bank. Well, in this scenario, we are the bank, because we are the minters of the coin. We are creating the coin, and we are the people putting it into circulation, into supply, onto the exchanges. So when traders and customers from all over the world come to the exchanges to buy our token because they want the 90% discount holidays, they want the 20% discount vouchers with 100% cash back, they want to use our copy trading platform, or they want to use our marketplace, and so on. That demand, when it comes to the exchange, who are they buying the coin from? Us, the creators and the generators of the coin. So this is the last opportunity to be involved in the minting. This is actually the #1 product. The #2 product will be the vouchers, which are being launched at the beginning of June. So until the end of the month, you can purchase a minter, fill it with token, generate new coins. And from the beginning of June, you can then start purchasing vouchers. And let me explain to you what you can do with these tokens when you generate these new coins. You can either sell the coins or the portfolio at 1% a day, or you could hold the coin and wait for the rise of the coin and sell it later and exit later. Or you can use the coins to buy the vouchers, to buy into the ecosystem. And this is how we have created an ecosystem where actually in the future, you don't have the requirement, or you don't need to sell these into fiat currency, because we have a real ecosystem with real utility where you can buy goods and services and do everything you need from within, including that bank account where you can load your Ultima token, okay? And why is this important? Because when CBDCs arrive, and they will arrive in the next 1 to 2 to 5 years, you will want to have a decentralized asset which they cannot control, because we have our own ecosystem. So this is really, really powerful, everybody. And Alex's vision, he had this vision 7 years ago, and we are now at the final phase of the project, mass adoption. So thank you very much for being here this evening. Thank you for your patience and listening to what we had to show you. Before I close the chat, what I'd love to do is just find out in the chat room from everybody. Let me just check if everyone, here we go. If everybody in the chat wouldn't mind, just put a 1 in the chat if you're an existing member and business partner, and put a 2 in the chat if this is totally new to you and this is the first time you've seen this presentation this evening. Okay, fantastic. And as you can see, those of you who have never been to this presentation before, you can see we have many business partners here on the call this evening. We are a community that works together. This is a team business. We support one another, and we actually have the Charging Rhinos, which is our movement within the company. We provide training, coachings, and all sorts of support and help for anybody who wants to be involved in this business. There is also, just to let you know, a business side to the business as well, where you can also make incredible money on the business opportunity as well when you share this opportunity with people around the world. We are in the business, everybody, of helping people and bring power back to the people. And if you share this with good intent and purpose to help others, you will be very successful in this business. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing now. So thank you very much, everybody, for attending. It's been a pleasure to see you all here. Please, please, please do go back to the person who invited you this evening and share your feedback. Tell them what you liked about it. And if you want to get involved, you need to hurry up. We've only got a week and a bit left to purchase the minters. And after that, we will not be able to purchase those minters again. And you will become part of an elite club of what I call the shareholders of the coin. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful evening and good night. Take care.